Hey guys, I'm going to be doing today, it's the latest tip of the day, and I'm going to be doing a business card trick. It's not even a trick, it's a tip. It's something that is really important for your thought process when it comes to position. I'm going to run a rack and 9 ball, and I'm going to show you. You can do this with 8 ball, 10 ball, but anytime you're practicing, I would really recommend you try this. It's not just about getting great shape, but the thing is, it's about having a plan. It's about always having a target. It's very important in pool to have, for a couple of reasons. If you always know where you want to go, then you'll focus on that. But if you don't get there, you're never going to get perfect all the time, but you're always getting feedback. If you're just saying, I want to get back down over here, or I'm trying to draw back over here down table, you don't have a specific goal or target. And this is really going to help you guys. Dave Castleman's been working on it a lot. If you ever see him here at Tailgaters, ask him about it. He's one of the best players in the city. He's an excellent student of the game, and he's been using this, and he thinks it's great. I tried it out the other day, and it's fantastic. For rotation, it's incredible because you're always trying to stay on the right side of the balls to make the shots easy. But again, the difference between being here and here could change everything. So you always need to, this is really about, it's about playing position, but it's also about constantly working on your thinking, your thought process, where you want to be, not where you don't want to be. This is a very fundamental thing in pool that can really help your game. So I'm going to talk you through a rack and 9 ball, and hopefully, like I said, it's not about not making mistakes. It's not, you can reset the shot up if you want. It's not, there's many ways to do this. It's about running a rack, always thinking about where you want to be, and then gaining instant feedback every time. Was I on the right line? Did I go too far? Was I on the right line, but my speed wasn't enough or not much? You're constantly getting feedback. So I really want you to pay attention to this. And what we'll do is I'll do a rack and 9 ball and maybe another video. I don't like to keep it too long. I can do an 8 ball one, but it's the same concept. You're always picking a spot. So what we're going to do, here's the business card. You can take any card. That's where you want to try and land the cue ball on. So what we're going to do here, okay, so even on your break, you can put a card there. So for example, maybe you're trying to just make it here and squat the cue ball back to here, okay? You can even do it right off the break. So we'll try something like this for now. You're always going to give yourself ball in hand after this. And I'm going to talk you through exactly how I'm thinking. So there, I had too much draw into it. So I needed a little more top so it pops back and I was a little bit to the right. Okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to do another break because the object of the exercise here is not, that's just a fluke where it gets all bunched up. You want them to be out in the open so that you can see what a run out looks like. If there's any clusters, what I'd like you to do is just open them up, because what we're not trying to play safes and stuff like that. This is about how to run out, maintain the right angles, but most importantly, and stick with me here, it's about making adjustments. And your thought process is always, you always got a plan, which is so important, not just in pool, in life really. You want to have targets. You want to know where you want to go. Okay, so that time I came back a little bit, a little draw again, but that's fine. So what we're going to do, so for example, maybe on something like this, we put this out. The important thing is we want them spread open. so that we have a clear-cut plan. So for example, and if you're not using the business card trick, incidentally, this is how you need to think in rotation for sure, 9-ball and 10-ball. But in all games, I'm looking at my 1-ball. What you're always going to want you to say to yourself, if I had ball in hand on the 2, where would I want to be to get to the 3? And that's where the business card trick comes in. So for instance, in a case like this, you know, if we're basically anywhere into here, we're on here and we can get to here, right? So we're going to place our card right here. And what I do, I also use my, if there's ever a rail that you need to hit. So for example, I'm going to set this up. And if you don't do it on tough shots, set it back up until you do it. This is just about walking yourself through, and really it's about learning. So what I do is put my business card here. I'm going to put my chalk here as a target point to try and come into here and land into here. Okay? So I'm visualizing the ball coming here and bouncing here. Okay? So I step into the shot. So already I'm in trouble, right? So what I would do, I would put this back up, and this is the key to this exercise for now. We're trying on certain tough shots, when we need to get right into a perfect distance, we're trying to correct and learn. So there, I just didn't have enough draw or not a tip of right. I thought I could do it with just draw, which I probably could, but I'm just going to put a hair more, and I'm going to continue to do this until I hit a good one. All right? It doesn't have to be right on it doesn't have to be right on here, but what we're trying to do is learn from this, okay? So from the 3 here, where would I want to be? If I was over on this side on the 3, it would be trickier because then I'm going away. So I really want to be somewhere around here. So I've got a little too much angle, but that's okay. So what we're going to do here is, I know that if I roll this into here, it's probably going to hit here. So this is how advanced this can be. I don't have much of a choice. Probably here is about the best I can do with nothing. So what I'm going to try and do here is visualize it coming here. And this is, you can do, is it's going to bump the 3 or the 6 and hopefully come over here. Because I just don't think I have quite the angle. Maybe, because it looks like I have to hit here. I might be able to check it there. But I'm going to try to visualize bumping the 5 and getting right on the thing. So not bad, not great. Should have hit it a little harder, but we're always learning, okay? So now, same idea. This is about planning. If I was somewhere around here, I could make that and slide over here to get onto the 6. So in this case, again, probably going to bump into this because I'm just wrong-sided. Not a lot, but I still think I can get it to about here by putting some inside on this. And again, you keep doing it till you do it. It's not about how many misses and stuff. It's about constant feedback. So I'm going to need a lot of right so that it comes across. See, so it just bumped it. Again, I'm not hitting it hard enough, but that's okay. So we're right on the 50-yard line. I was hoping to leak it out here. So in this case, I think cutting it back will be too much. But the good news is, if we cut this in with a nice shot, where would we want to be? Again, we would love to be right around here, so that if we can be somewhere around here, we have the angle to get back down here. But we're planning this out. Very important. So, harder shot, we're going to go through here. we're going to draw it into here and try and check it back across. So realistically, somewhere around here would be wonderful. Really, so now we've got our target. What you can even do on a hard shot, watch this. We can make a little, this is what I do too, on a hard shot where it's really different. What I love to do is make it so if I don't make this, I set it back up till I do a real good one. This is real good practice. It looks like this might slide down the rail. So what I really want to do is visualize it drawing into the rail. I don't have to hit this too hard because I want to stay right-sided. So again, I got into it a little much, but I'm still fine as long as I didn't get on the other side. So again, look at this. If I had ball in hand on the 6, so now as the balls come down, I have more margin for error because I could pretty much be anywhere. I would love a little angle so I can come back to here and then across. So on a shot like this, I got a little more angle than I like. I'm going to bump into here for sure, and I'd like to come down, and somewhere around here would be ideal. I'm going to have to, might be a little tricky. I might come into here, but that's okay. Once again, watch this. Just a little mark. Nothing, just so you can don't make it really wet and just a hair, because you're just going to do it a few times if you don't get this perfect. So I visualize it coming off of here, opening up down to here. Step into the shot. And let's see, again, you're going to notice I'm going to follow right through. I'm going to stay perfectly still. Coming down, I'm not moving. You can even incorporate in that. I would have liked to bump off the rail so that I'm not here, but that's okay. I've got a little angle. I'm going to be rolling forward into here. I wouldn't jack up. You don't need it. I would rather take, so a natural shot, if I can get out to about here, maybe even right up to about here, I'll have my angle to come across, okay? So what do? Visualize where I want to be, see the target. I'm trying to hit dead center of the pocket too, so my shape stays consistent. Little hard. Okay, if it does a little curve like that, then bring it over to here where it probably would be. That's fine. This isn't about playing perfect pool. This is about your thought process. I had the angle. Again, where would I want to be in an ideal world for the 8? Well, right here would be nice. We don't want to flirt with the side pocket. So what do? We could even, we visualize it coming across here. We could even go lower so we don't come anywhere near. Because if we're on this target here, we should have the confidence that we're going to make that shot, right? So again, you can visualize. If you want, you can bump here too and come across here. It's no problem. So we step into the shot. Incidentally, here's a neat trick. Some people like this. Some people do it a different way. Instead of stunning it across here, where you have to hit the perfect speed, it has to be sliding, there's much more touch involved. I know that if I put topspin, it would come probably to here. But I would rather keep the roll, the top, like kind of a middle top, like it's rolling when it hits here, but I like to put outside so that it comes across here with the roll. That to me is easier to predict. So what I like to do, instead of trying to stun it with perfect shape, I straighten it out to come across with outside. So then, okay, it was perfect, except for forgot to make the ball. No problem. Set it back up exactly the way it was. And there's a good hint too, is I was so focused on that I forgot to make the ball. So what you got to do on those is pick the point and then forget about it. Your brain's already seen the target. Do not shift your eyes over. I shifted mine over too quickly. So now I'm just focused on following through and making this perfectly, okay? I've made the correction. I did not make the cardinal mistake of making my eyes go over here. Now, here's a little tip, last tip. Even when you're on your last ball. Now, when it's straight on, it's a little different. But I still, if there's a trick where if you want to start making 8 balls and 9 balls, the money balls more often, you should still play shape, some kind of shape. Pick a thing. It might be here. It could be even here. It doesn't matter. The reason you want to play shape is every shot, you're always up. Let's say you're playing 8 ball or 9 ball. You're always thinking about at least a shot ahead. You're never going to shoot and have no idea. So what happens with a lot of people is they do that. That's part of their routine. And then they get to the 8 ball or the 9 ball and they don't do that. So they're out of their routine. They're making the shot psychologically in your brain, it feels different. So to make it feel the same, because it is just another shot, you can pick a point. If you wanted to draw it to here, you can. If you wanted to make it easy, you go something like this. I'm going to try and get it on the card, but you should always play some kind of shape. So I'm just going to follow through. And the bonus about that is if you don't get on the card, or if it was something a little more difficult, you're learning about the speed. It's another shot down the line that can help you when it comes up again. If, let's say, the 9 ball was something like this. You had a cut on the 9 ball. Okay? Last shot. Oh my God, it's the 9 ball. You just want to focus on making it. No. Pick a spot. Say like this. Okay. Because you can put the card anywhere you want. Obviously, in a game, you can't use a card, but you can pick a spot when I'm shooting the 8 ball. So it's just another shot. So I step in. I'm trying to get it right on the card. And there, I learned something about the table. My line was perfect. My speed was a little hard. Next time that shot comes up, I can make an adjustment. But also, I wasn't just focused on making that. I had the confidence I was going to make it, and I was going to get my cue ball here. And that's what you do on every single shot. So don't not do it on the money ball, the 8 ball, 9 ball, or 10 ball, okay? So that's the card trick. It's really important because it focuses you on having a plan, knowing where you want to be, which is great. And then lastly, you're constantly getting feedback. So you do 4, 5, 6 racks of 8 ball or 9 ball like this, and it's very engaging. It's also a little more fun to practice this way because you're very focused, okay? So that's the card trick. Tip of the day, I believe it's 82. And I really want you guys to maybe play with that. In 8 ball, it's the same thing. Even if you're doing a breakout, you visualize what side it's going to hit and where the cue ball would come off after the breakout and put your card there. So again, that's advanced breakout. You always have a plan. You're never just, this is next level thinking. This is the way the pros, they don't just leave it to chance. They're always visualizing what they want to do and be. If they don't get there, then they learn from it. But if you didn't have a plan or a goal or in mind in the first place, how can you learn from it? The answer is you can't, okay? So that's the latest tip of the day. Hope you enjoyed that. And whenever you're at Tailgaters, as always, you can come up to me and ask me anything, but also I can show you a few other things about this. We can run a rack together or something. Don't be shy, and I can show you, the different thought processes between running racks with the card trick. Thanks a lot, and I'll be back with tip of the day probably tomorrow.